Have you been feeling more anxious lately? Restless, on edge, overwhelmed, maybe quietly wondering what's going on? Maybe you've been told it's anxiety. Maybe you've told yourself that. But if you're in midlife, there's another question worth asking. Is it anxiety or is it perimenopause? For many women, the answer isn't one or the other. It's understanding how midlife changes the way that anxiety shows up. I'm Michelle, self-care confidence coach for midlife women. I work with women who are capable, responsible, and thoughtful, and who suddenly feel unfamiliar in their own bodies or their own nervous systems. If these conversations feel helpful, go ahead and hit subscribe. In this video, I want to talk about why it is that anxiety often shows up differently in midlife and how hormonal shifts can change the way your nervous system responds, and how to start making sense of what you're feeling without jumping to conclusions. And this is not about medical advice. It is about understanding the context of what you're experiencing. Anxiety often shows up differently in midlife. For so many women, anxiety doesn't look like panic attacks. It might look like constant mental noise or feeling very easily overwhelmed, having trouble sleeping, irritability that you don't recognize, like over simple things, a sense that your nervous system is always on because it doesn't match what we're told anxiety is supposed to look like. Many women assume that they're just not coping as well as they used to. For a lot of women, this is a first time that their inner experience is shifting faster than you're understanding it. That disconnect can feel unsettling, but it's also an invitation to pay attention in a new way. Hormonal changes can amplify anxiety symptoms. During perimenopause, your estrogen levels fluctuate, most of the time very significantly. And our estrogen plays a role in mood regulation, stress response, sleep, emotional resilience. You see a connect there? So when it shifts, anxiety can increase, even in women who have never felt anxious or had anxiety before. And that can be very frightening when your mind hasn't changed, but your reactions have. That doesn't mean that everything you're feeling is hormonal, but it does mean that hormones deserve a seat at the table. So when your hormones change, the way your nervous system responds to stress can change too. That doesn't erase who you are and the way that you handled things in the past. It just means that these inputs, they've shifted. The hardest part is not knowing how to interpret what's happening. This is where most of the distress comes from. Women are told it's just anxiety or this is just a part of midlife. And no one helps them to slow down and sort through what's actually changing. So women internalize it. They question themselves, right? We try to push through without context. That is the hardest part for many women. It's not just the symptom, it's not knowing how to interpret them. And when there's no framework, it's easy to turn that inward instead of outward. I remember noticing a season where I felt more on edge than usual. Maybe not panicked, just unsettled. And it wasn't until I zoomed out a little that I realized how much my body was changing at the same time. So if you've been wondering whether this is anxiety or perimenopause, here's what matters. Anxiety can show up differently in men. Hormonal shifts can amplify what you're feeling. And clarity starts by asking better questions, not by judging yourself. You deserve understanding before answers and compassion while you're trying to figure it out. If this conversation resonates, I share weekly reflections, affirmations, and grounded guidance in my weekly newsletter, The Simple Stride Snapshot. It's support for midlife women navigating change thoughtfully and realistically. You'll find the link below. And if you're still sorting this out, that's okay. Midlife often asks for awareness before certainty, and learning how to listen again, that's part of the process. I'll see you next time.